Y'all ready to get drunk? Y'all ready to sweat till y'all stank? Sinners, let's see. All right, so this week we saw Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan, Miles Canton, Sal Williams, and Andre Ward Hammond. Man, I really like the cinematography in this movie. It was beautifully shot. The movie is written and directed by Ryan Coogler. I'm starting to really trust his judgment on movies and his creation. So you can trust when you go see a movie that you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a good one. So the story is about two brothers who spent some time in World War I, moved back to the States, living in Chicago, getting involved with the mob, and then moving back home to start their own juke joint, something that they had a long time dream of doing. One of the quotes in the movie was, "Music can bring healing, but it can also attract evil." I find that an interesting thought process. In the movie, these vampires, just like evil, need to be invited in. These vampires whispered whatever these people wanted to hear to try to get them in. Things like, be a part of the family, be a part of the brotherhood, live forever, live being pain-free. All those things are very tempting. You just have to remember to stay true to who you are and whose you are. Sammy is one of the characters in the movie. His dad is a pastor of a church. Sammy grew up in the church and knew the word just off the top of his head. His father invites him to help lead the congregation in service in the following Sunday. Sammy says he'll be back in time, but Sammy chooses to go out that night to the juke joint because he does have another talent, and that's playing the guitar. In the juke joint, there's a lot of feeding the flesh. There's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of sex going on. There's a lot of do whatever you want to do because this is a night to have fun. And eventually there's a knock at the door. And that's when the head vampire tries to invite himself in. All that reminds me of Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. And that scripture reminds us what we allow in our hearts and in our minds will determine and influence who we are. So overall, that was a great movie. I enjoyed it. I actually got to see it on the big screen, whereas the past couple of weeks, it's all been little bitty screens for the movies. So it was a nice change of pace that might have had something to do with why I like the cinematography. We apologize for breaking into your regularly scheduled program, but we had some technical difficulties back on the camera at the theater. So, either way, don't forget about the previews. That's why I show up to the movies early. First preview that we saw this week was Thunderbolts, a Marvel superhero movie, or wannabe superhero movies, meaning the superheroes that are in it are wanting to be superheroes, or they're not bad guys. I think you know who they are, but looking forward to seeing this one. Next movie we got is Until Dawn, similar to what we had with Saw. It's a group of people stuck in a house, and if they live through the nightmares through that evening, then they get to leave the house. Unfortunately, most people don't leave the house. So if you're into those kind of movies, keep an eye out for that. Next we have The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal. John Bernthal being the Punisher, and very fitting that he's in this movie because there is a lot of action and fighting scenes. So looking forward to The Accountant 2. Next we have The Phoenician Scheme. This is a movie that looks to be a very large cast of people you know, and looks to be very funny in moments, and looks to be an overall good movie. Looking forward to this one. That's The Phoenician Scheme. Next we have Him, which I still want to wait for a couple of previews coming out on this one until I make up my mind if I want to see it. It's about a group of people making athletes out of other human beings, but what they have to go through looks a little strange, looks a little bit on the psychedelic, creepy ride kind of thing. But again, I reserve my right to want to see this movie once I see a couple of the previews. Next, we have Final Destination Bloodlines. And if you are a fan of Final Destination, this is the next one in the series, so definitely going to want to keep up with that one. And then finally, we have one battle after another. So we talked about the Phoenician scheme previously. Benicio del Toro's in that one, and he's been working hard because he is in one battle after another along with Leonardo DiCaprio. This looks to be a fun ride. With all those previews and everything that we saw with Sinners, hey, until next time, let's see.
We gonna kill every last one of you.